Well, folks, we're back for episode 7 of Fear the Walking Dead. This episode is damaged from the inside, and man, this episode is crazy. I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess we have to start with Victor. He just absolutely gets on my nerves. Like, it's always something with him. And like, literally when Virginia was like, whose side are you on? That's literally what I was thinking when she said that. Like, dude, what side are you playing here? I cannot tell. And it's like, quite frankly, after all these seasons and all this time, like, it's still the same shenanigans with him. He just absolutely just completely gets on my nerve. And then finally, we seen Grace in this episode, and the baby, she's doing okay. She's alive. She looks to be she looks in fabulous condition, to be honest, for living in the shack or whatever it may be. But it's clear that Virginia kidnapped her at some point. And now Victor's like, well, who else do you want? Now she wants everybody. I don't understand what makes him flip-flop like that. One minute you have an agreement with Alicia, and the next you're just like, all right, well, forget all of them. Let's go get them. So I just don't understand the guy. And like when Victor seen when Victor seen Morgan, he completely was like shook, like he's seen a ghost. And you would think everything would be well, that, you know, Morgan's alive and whatever. And even Morgan dropped the gem with him like, yo, you know, Virginia's not even telling you everything. Like, she knows I'm alive and she didn't even tell you. And like, that did nothing for Victor's relationship with Virginia, except for him going back to be a rat. I just don't get it. But Morgan coming to the rescue again this episode, like the true hero, the true badass he is. And, you know, him and Alicia had a little bit of a disagreement at first about what to do with Dakota. But ultimately, Morgan says, I'm doing anything and everything to bring everyone back together. That is his sole purpose. This entire mission is to bring back the entire team, giving them a safe organization or community, shall I say, for everybody to feel protected and, you know, to just be safe, be protected, and, you know, move on away from life, away from Virginia. And Alicia's on board, obviously, now. Charlie, who's just is truly the second hero of this episode. Like, Charlie just kept popping up with like all the different like ideas, suggestions, plans, strategies to get them out of the little situation they was in. But yeah, you know, Morgan is he's just the badass that we always thought he was, and he's back, you know, and completely just being that really good guy we know he is, and making sure that he continues his mission and bringing everyone back together, even bringing back Dakota, the person that he thought he was going to have to use in order to, you know, make leverage with Virginia at some point, or to protect the rest of the people that he already has saved. But now this changes a lot, because the one person he's looking for with Grace is with Virginia. And Virginia's looking for the one person he has. So I don't know where this is going, but this is like really, really going to get interesting. It's kind of mind blowing, even thinking like how they're going to do this right now. So we'll have to see. But man, let's talk about Ed here. Now, Ed, he was a cheesy guy. He was really hard to read, to be honest. But I guess you could call him a hero, because all he wanted to do was protect Dakota, because he's lost his family because of Virginia. Oh, and let's not forget Dakota dropping that gem, saying that, you know, Virginia killed her parents. Like, Virginia is savage, like, without a doubt. But Ed did not have to die like that. Like, going out with his arms spread, like, I don't know who he thought he was. Like, the guy was cheesy, little creepy at times, but I don't know. That I didn't think he had to die that way. And like, Alicia just had really no remorse. Like, she did not at all at all feel any bit of guilt with this. Like, she was just like, whatever. But you know, another thing I want to bring up real quick before I forgot, Morgan holding his chest, and Alicia's like, you okay? I cannot, I'm telling you, I cannot deal with anything with Morgan. Morgan must be protected at all costs. Morgan holding his chest, I don't want to hear no heart attack. I don't want to hear none of that. Hopefully he's just having a little hiccup, but like, I hope they don't play towards that. So just, I don't even want to bring it up no more. But yeah, with this episode too, I also like the Walker's design. I thought what Ed was doing, little creepy guy, dressing him up, giving them a really scary look so that people wouldn't come to the area. I thought that was a good idea and all, but whatever. And then him tranquilizing Alicia, I was just like, oh, this is definitely not going to go good. Like, dude's just, he had so many creepy factors with him. I just did not know what was going to happen. But ultimately, I think I would have liked to see what would have went on with him with just a little bit more time. So him dying as a fan of the show, I thought was a little premature, but at the same time too, dude was kind of creepy, so probably wasn't good for a group of women at the time, because I don't know. I mean, again, he came off like he was just genuinely a good person, but like, I don't know, some of his tactics was a little bit questionable. So, and also too, him talking about they were like safe inside. So he called back all the ones he created, but then his doors couldn't even hold it up. Like, they definitely did what walkers always do. They put enough weight against the door and they crumble it. So like, he wasn't safe there. For any other little hiccup that he might have had, it would have just been the same thing. The music brought him to the house. So that gunshot wasn't just like the icing on the cake to make them break down the door. Those doors were never safe. So they were right to never trust him in the first place here. But overall, this episode was okay. It was probably one of my least favorites thus far. It did some really pivotal things. I mean, Grace's appearance was definitely a shocker. Her in good condition. I mean, I can't stress enough, for her to be pregnant, she's looking great. And now we really got this real big question mark as to what happens with the exchange of Grace and Dakota. The idea is to keep Dakota safe. That's what Alicia wants. Dakota doesn't want to go back, but Virginia's gonna obviously want to make a deal, and everyone keeps making deals with Virginia or trying to make deals with Virginia, and I don't know why, but I don't know. I guess it just sounds good on paper, but she can't be trusted. It's been so many examples of her just not being able to be trusted at all. Even her sporting her one arm in the sling now, like, she still can't be trusted. And then just fucking Strand, God, he gets on my nerve. Like, he just does way too much. He's a weasel. He's a snake. He's definitely, I think he's full-blown Virginia, but like, I hate how he's still trying to play both sides of the fence. And I said before in the earlier episodes that I feel like Alicia's is one weak spot, but like, I don't even think that's existent anymore now. Like, this episode made me feel like he's just liable to do anything in order to be on Virginia's side. This guy loves statue. He loves, having an important role and making him of some significance, despite if he even knows all the truth or not. And like, clearly that's more important than his friendship with people. So like, whatever with that guy. But yeah, that would do it for this episode. Again, I think this was not one of my favorite episodes thus far, but it still told a really good story moving forward. And now it's just all a matter of like, what happens with this has changed. What do we see Morgan do next? We know that, Morgan took down that convoy, but he wasn't the one that took down Tank Town. So we still got to figure out what's going on with them folks. We didn't get too much more on them. And as now they are going back into his safe area, I'm sure there's going to be some type of hiccup on that, and then we'll see what the rest of the crew is doing next week. But that'll do it for this episode, folks, and thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode, and I'll see you all each and every week for another review. Thank you so much for watching.